अस्सलाम वालेकुम। हम चैप्टर नंबर 12 पे आ गए हैं। इस किताब में टोटल 21 चैप्टर्स हैं, 21 चैप्टर्स इन टोटल, एंड वी आर एट द 12th। तो यू कैन सी वी आर अप्रोचिंग टू द सेकंड हाफ। पहले के चैप्टर्स थोड़े छोटे हैं, तो इस वजह से इन टर्म्स ऑफ कंटेंट वी आर एग्जैक्टली लाइक हाफ वे थ्रू। बीचों बीच है हम इस किताब के। सो सेशन नंबर भी 57th है। So I'm assuming 50 more sessions because second half maybe wouldn't be taking much time, or I don't know, maybe we would, or maybe we would take more time. बट जितना वक्त गुजरा तो उस हिसाब से अगर हम अपनी प्रोग्रेस को देखें, we have been reading more than we were reading in the earlier sessions. तो अब तक आपको पता चल ही गया होगा, मैं कमेंट्री भी करता हूँ ऑन वट एवर वी आर रीडिंग, तो उस वजह से कभी कभार मौका मिलता है कुछ कमेंट करने का। अब इतने कमेंट कर लिए कि अब कोई नई बात बची नहीं करने को। इस वजह से अब ज़्यादा पढ़ाई ही हो रही है। खैर, 12th चैप्टर, वी आर इन द मिडल ऑफ द बुक। तो लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, कोशिश करते हैं कि समझ पाए क्या कह रहे हैं। कहती हैं सवाल ये है कि वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम। और ये आजकल के ज़माने का एक फंडामेंटल सवाल है, आप कहाँ से हैं। ऐसा क्यों होगा, लेकिन आजकल के ज़माने में फंडामेंटल क्यों है। आजकल के ज़माने में एक फंडामेंटल फिनोमेना दैट सराउंड्स अस इज़ ग्लोबलाइजेशन। वी लिव इन द एरा ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन। लोग कहाँ से कहाँ रह रहे हैं। और मैं भी खुद अपने होम टाउन से दूर रहता हूँ, तो मुझसे भी पूछते हैं अक्सर लोग कहाँ से हैं आप। तो ग्लोबलाइजेशन के एरा में लोग कहीं पे भी होते हैं, कहीं से भी कहीं पे होते हैं, एंड दे डाई इन डिफरेंट लैंड्स एंड दे आर बरीड देयर, एंड देयर वुड बी सम इंडियन समवेयर born there. तो where are you from? वेरी ट्रिकी इन दिस मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड। एंसेस्ट्री कहाँ तक ले जाए, खुद तक ही। आई एम एन अमेरिकन, अपने ये वालिदैन तक अपने, तो मे बी आई एम एन अरब, लेकिन वो आए थे से हिंदुस्तान से, आई एम एन इंडियन। तो बड़ा ट्रिकी है ये। लेज़ी हेजल्टन कहती हैं कि जवाब यूजुअली वो होता है जहाँ पैदा हुए होते हैं या जहाँ आप पले बड़े हैं। कहते जो भी हो, जैसा भी हो, ज़्यादातर आपका बचपन का जो घर होता है वो डिफाइन करता है कि आप कहाँ से हैं। दैट्स गोइंग टू टेल अस वेयर यू आर फ्रॉम। हाँ, आई वुड बिलीव हर ऐसा ही करते हैं ना हम। यूजुअली वी प्लेस आवर सेल्स वेयर वी वेर इन आवर चाइल्डहुड। बचपन में कहाँ खेला था वो, क्रिकेट। और चाहे खुशी खुशी या रिजेंटफुली, सम पार्ट ऑफ यू ऑलवेज बिलोंग्स टू दैट प्लेस। ये आइडेंटिटी आपको छोड़ती भी नहीं है। और जिस ज़माने में हम जी रहे हैं, और हकीकी मायने में तो ये हमेशा रहा है, आप जहाँ से भी हो, आप उस चीज़ को अपने साथ कैरी करते हैं। यू नेवर रियली गेट रिड ऑफ इट। आपको नई जगह हमेशा रिमाइंड करती है कि आप एक आउटसाइडर है। ये इस चाहे कितना भी कॉर्डियल माहौल हो, तो और आप उसी नई जगह के हो भी जाएं, तब भी कुछ रह जाता है। उस गाने में कहते ना, जुदा होके भी तू मुझ में कहीं बाकी है। तो ये शहर जहाँ से आप निकले होते हैं, फिर किसी और शहर में रहते हैं, तो वो तुझ में कहीं बाकी रह जाता है। हर जगह ऐसा ही होता है। इनफैक्ट इसको शहर पे ही क्यों लिमिट कर देना, ये हर एक चीज़ की हकीकत है। हम क्या है फाइनली, इस लम्हे, हम इस लम्हे वो हैं जो हर लम्हे को जोड़ के, जब से हम पैदा हुए अब तक का हर एक लम्हा जोड़ो तो बन गया मैं। आई एम इन माई 30s, से फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई एम 35। तो मैं कौन हूँ? मैं 35 साल की आइडेंटिटीज को जोड़ना, 35 साल की मेमोरीज को जोड़ना, वो हूँ मैं। ये बड़ा खूबसूरत है और बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है। इंसान बहुत जूझा है इस सवाल के साथ कि मेरी आइडेंटिटी क्या है। आई एम नॉट सर्टन। मैंने इसको इस पे लेक्चर्स किए हैं, ये इस पे आई एम सर्टन कि मैंने इस पे लेक्चर्स किए हैं, लेकिन वो किस सीरीज का हिस्सा है दैट आई एम नॉट श्योर। जॉन लॉक का फलसफा, मेमोरी क्राइटेरिया ऑफ आइडेंटिटी, प्रोबेबली फिलॉसफी ऑफ रिलीजन वाली सीरीज में है, अभी यूट्यूब पे नहीं है। लेक्चर्स हमने किए थे उस पर, आ जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह सोशो पॉलिटिकल फिलॉसफी के बाद। द पॉइंट बीइंग, मतलब मैं भी कौन हूँ, हु एम आई? और ये सवाल का जवाब देना बड़ा मुश्किल है। और एक तरीका कहने का ये है कि इतने सारे जो मेरे साथ मौके हुए, मामलात हुए, जो भी हुआ वो डिफाइन कर देता है कि मैं कौन हूँ इस वक्त। मैं वही हूँ जिसके साथ 11वीं हुई, 12वीं हुई, डिस्टिंक्शन हुई, रेपियर हुआ, ठीक, क्रिकेट हुआ, ठीक, कभी गाड़ी को स्क्रैच लगा, ये भी मेरे साथ हुआ। तब जाके मैं बना, एंड दैट सेट्स मी, दैट मेक्स मी यूनिक। ये जो सेट ऑफ इवेंट्स है, तो अगर मेरे बनने में द ब्रिक्स दैट मेक मी, द से इस एग्जाम्पल में मैं 35 कह रहा हूँ, तो देर आर 35 bricks that make me, and then each brick is made of, say, 12 subparts, and each subpart is made of 30 or 31 or 28 subparts, or then they are made of 24 subparts, and then that is made of, say, 60 subparts, and then each one part. So you see how we are a mosaic. हम एक टेपेस्ट्री जैसे हैं, हम वो कानी शाल है एक एक, एंड गॉड इज वीविंग अस एज इफ, कि आप इसकी इसकी ज़िंदगी में ये वाला मोमेंट डाल देते हैं जिसमें थोड़ा सा सुहेल होगा और वो सुन रहा होगा लेक्चर, लेट दिस इवेंट हैपन इन हिज लाइफ, वी आर बीइंग वीव्ड एज इफ। एंड दैट ऑल्सो टेल्स अस, ये जो एक शॉल बनता है, ये जो ये पश्मीना का शॉल बनता है, कोई भी शॉल बनता है, तो उसमें वो एक एक धागा जब लगाते हैं, तो वो धागा उसका हिस्सा बनता है ना, यू कैन नेवर गेट रिड ऑफ इट, इट इज़ व्हाट इट इज़। एंड दैट्स वाई एवरीथिंग रिमेन्स। You never really get rid of anything that you have done in your life. You can never, because it's a part of you, and it has made you whatever you are. And then that should also tell you how carefully one should treat his path, because you can't get rid of anything. It's shaping you. Every moment is shaping you. तो बाद में पछतावा होता है, एटलीस्ट उनको तो होता है जो देखते हैं कि उनके मामला दुरुस्त नहीं थे, जिनके दिल में अल्लाह ताला किसी भी तरीके से ये एहसास जगा देता है कि आपका जो ये कानी शॉल है, इसका जो पुराना धागा जो इसमें लगा है, वो धागा नहीं है जो लगना चाहिए था, एंड देयर इज़ नो वे यू कैन गो बैक। There's no way, it's very difficult, it's impossible, I would say, to go back. तो इस वजह से it's very important, and I have been realizing it more so after sulkakaizing myself कि यूं होता तो क्या होता. And many a times I go back to memory lane and see all the good and bad, and then I see what has made me the way I am, and I realize that there are too many things I wish I didn't do. And yet at the same time, that's how God willed it. And I reached where I reached. The point being, we are kind of a tapestry, kind of a mosaic, each moment adding to another moment and forming us. And we are at every moment becoming something, every moment adding to us. There's a very beautiful write up you can read. It's a conversation, it's an actual conversation. Not a made up conversation. I can write made up conversations as well, but that's a real person talking to me. Kashif and Batin on love. And let me disclose it to you. That's a conversation. That's a conversation with my wife that we had once. So, and she was asking me, and I was responding. It was a beautiful conversation, so I thought I would share it with others. One of the things that is said there is इश्क मोहब्बत एक ही बार होती है ज़िंदगी में. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? What does it mean to say that we only fall in love once? And in the conversation, it said that because once you love, you cannot unlove after that. क्या हो गया अब? The person might change, the object might change, but it has just happened to you now. अब क्या होगा? अब कुछ नहीं होगा और हो चुका. You have grown that much. ये लम्हा जुड़ चुका है आपके सारे लम्हों में. The thing that was you, sans love, is no more. And that also presents to us a beautiful metaphor for all those whose hearts are broken, who find it difficult to move on. And difficult it is. Difficult it has been for the greatest of the prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Difficult it is to lose someone who you care for. It's your heart that has gone away. Heart. People wonder what is heart. Why would Quran reference heart always? Why would literature reference heart always? And they wonder कि heart का क्या लेना देना है सोचने के साथ. It pumps blood. But what they miss is language. Language, my dear, is an amazing thing. Language takes you where no car, no jet, no F-16s or Rafales or GSLVs or all these great vehicles we have built can take. But words can take you there. For example, the heart of your beloved, what vehicle would you take there? There is no vehicle. So heart, to understand heart is to understand the heart of the matter. Lubbe lubab baat ka. So heart is your core being. What are you? That is your heart. इस बात का जो central चीज है, that which makes it, that which defines it, that central core thing, उसको बोलेंगे इस चीज का दिल. That which gives it meaning, the entire whole, that's qalb, that's heart. जैसे आप कहते हैं ना, what is the heart of the matter? The heart of this book is in this chapter. So the Quran also has a heart. I leave that as an assignment for you. Find out what's the heart of the Quran. You can drop it in the comments. So the heart, and now ishq is beautiful because he said, I've given you my heart. मैंने दिल दे दिया है तुमको. That, what does that also mean? That's also meaningless and absurd. क्या करोगे without something pumping blood? But what you're saying is, I've given up everything. I've given you everything. I've given you who I am. मैंने तुमको मैं दे दिया. I've given you me. That means you're becoming one with someone. I've given you my heart. I've given you my identity, my everything. And you have given someone the core of your being. And you have shown your vulnerability to that person. And to lose them for whatever reason is heartbreaking. Once again, heartbreaking. That means the core of your identity is broken now. You're no more the same thing. That there's half that is gone. And which half? The better half. So it would be hurting. But here in this metaphor of इश्क मोहब्बत एक बार होती है is also a relief कि मोहब्बत एक बार होती है. That means you are capable of love now. And look at it like that. कि what a beautiful thing, I am capable of love now. And when the heart is broken, it's interesting that it's also open now. It's also open to receive. And it would receive, it shall receive. The best treasures are found in the worst broken forts. And that heart of yours that is broken is where the best treasures can be found. And one must move on. One cannot despair. Despairing is one of the, if I'm not mistaken, it was considered by the Christians the biggest sin, the way we consider shirk. And they would say, the medieval Christians predominantly, that this is one sin that won't be forgiven. And it makes sense to me. Why would they say so? Because despair would be the worst of kufr. So do not despair. And the point once again being that we are at every moment becoming. And some of us become through this trial and tribulation of whatever we face in our lives, which includes the places we visit, the people we are with. It's very difficult for us to understand it at a younger age. And that's why the emphasis on family and familial life, and that's why the emphasis on extended families in Islam. Lot has been fed into the Muslim mind by, I would say, people unaware of sociology, unaware of culture, unaware of anthropology. With all due respect to their knowledge and greatness and sincerity also, I would say some of them were really sincere. And out of all of that but ignorance, they would often criticize this extended family structure. And I am surprised and shocked that they could not realize that the importance of it is such that Islam always preserved extended family structure wherever it went, that it's not a Kashmiri anomaly or Sindhi Punjabi anomaly. It is a universal anomaly that families are extended in Muslim world, probably because they understood that this person is becoming, and every moment that is adding to his life is defining him, and he is going to become what each moment would make him. And let us curate that moment, not randomly. And since it is almost impossible for the weaver to be there every moment while the shawl is being made, so let the weavers change. Let the weavers change. But let there be a pattern in their change, that they are one. That they are one. And how would you make that possible? They can be brothers. They can be aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, great-grandparents. They have to live in a vicinity so that they make this tapestry their own. They make this shawl, this Kani shawl their own. Otherwise, think of it like this, that you build You get the best pashmina under the sky. You make the best pashmina shawl under the sky, and you take it to an embroidery expert, and the person draws say कहीं पे थोड़ा सा डिज़ाइन वो बनाना शुरू कर देता है, and you take it to another one and he draws another design, and without even understanding what the first one had begun to develop, and then you would realize what would happen to that shawl, even if it is the best pashmina under the sky. Would we want that? I don't think we would want that at all with our children. So importance of family is also there, and places we visit, places we live, they also shape us. The kind of books we read, the kind of music we listen, the school we attend, the buses we travel in, the cars we travel in, the hands we shake, the shakes we drink, the shakes we are with. So all of it is defining us. And birds with similar feathers flock together. That's also true. So बात छिड़ी थी कि who am I, where am I from, what am I, मेरी identity क्या है. Very difficult to say. And whatever would be your status sometime later, whatever has been in your past is part of the identity. And that also tells us why we must be courageous. Because life is going to throw at us accidents after accidents. Some beloved would pass, grandmother would pass, sometimes your parents leave you very early, you're just 30 or maybe even 12 or 14 and you're orphaned. Sometimes your siblings pass or your friend dies. I remember a college friend that died. Those 3-4 days, they were very tough. And I was living far away from my home, at least 1,000 kilometers. And we were dealing with it there. And then I think after 24 hours or 48 hours after the death, my father calls me and I call my father. I never opened up like that with my family, and I cried on phone and I was like, मुझे घर जाना है. And my father was like, come home. And I'm not known like that. I'm never known like that. I'm known as a very strong lad. So things happen, accidents would take place, like heartbreaks, धोखेबाजी, दगाबाजी, ये सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. You might develop a bad habit. That also happens. Your core is good. You're a good human. But this is something you cannot deal with. That also happens. Addictions take place. That also happens. But all of these tell us that we must be courageous enough to stand up again. If I have to name one song that's my favorite among Hindi songs or Urdu songs, whatever you want to call them, that there's this song in Taare Zameen Par, Mera Jahan. I would name that. It's an amazing song. What a beautiful song they wrote. And he sings कि अकेला नहीं मैं, खुली आंखों से नींद में चलता, गिरता ज़्यादा कम संभलता, फिर भी न कोई शक ना शुबा, निकलेगा फिर से सूरज जो डूबा, हैरत हो सबको ऐसा अजूबा है मेरा जहां. I would listen to it like on repeat. अकेला नहीं मैं, खुली आंखों से नींद में चलता, गिरता ज़्यादा कम संभलता. And we are people of hope. We are people of taqwa. We are believers. We believe that it's tough, but we are not alone. That's also what we believe. And we struggle with our demons. The language gives us a lot of things to learn from. One of the things ours has given us is beautiful metaphors, phrases, muhavre. There are lessons in them. I was hearing to Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad the other day, and he was saying that Everyone has to deal with one big issue in their life. It is just like that. God has made that. And I was at once reminded of the Kashmiri saying ke saar nicha sampat panan Firaun. That everyone has his own version of Firaun running behind him. Now, who among us would be the Musa who is going to part the Red Sea? That would determine whether we would drown and Firaun takes us or we travel across. But deep down, a believer knows it is not the Asa of Musa, it is the Rabb of Musa that matters the most, who would part the sea for us. We don't believe that anything can be done by anyone except by the will of God. इख्तियार फाइनली अपने हाथ में किसी का कोई नहीं है, बस सबका अल्लाह ताला के पास ही है. So you have your own Firaun running. I have recognized my Firaun. My Firaun has been running behind me for long. I have been fighting him, but my Red Sea is not opening yet. Maybe inshallah someday. It also tells us why we should be courageous, because we have to stand up again and again and again. We fall again, stand up again, fall again, stand up again, fall again, stand up again. एंड इसी कश्मकश में हमारी ज़िंदगी कट जाती है और हम इस दुनिया से निकल जाते हैं. फिर अपने रब को फेस करते हैं और अपने गिले शिकवे भी पेश करते हैं. अल्लाह ताला कुरान में फरमाते हैं, एंड आई रिमेंबर व्हेन आई रेड इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, I kind of cried and smiled. There are many beautiful things which are hidden in the Quran, pearls. Quran is a very interesting text. There are layers to it. On the surface of it, when you visit it, you would find it very dry. You would say that religious text like this, which talks about surface level things, why should it talk about surface level things? Because as Sheikh Hamza Yusuf says once, the idea of God with atheist is so high that he is not able to believe in it. God is so amazing, God is so good that it's too good to be true. So it's with Quran as well that sometimes you approach it, okay, I'll find this and that and those tales, but all you find, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, all praise to Allah. The king of the day of judgment. So, and you're like, oh, okay. But it still has that aura, I must admit. And all religious scriptures have that. If you read whatever tradition you read from, you would realize that divine touch. We definitely are believers in Quran, believers in Islam, so we would say that Quran has its own aura. But what I found simultaneously was that in plain sight, there hide things that are marvelous. Even to a third grader, I mean, fourth, fifth का student भी अगर उसको बस थोड़ा सा ध्यान से देखे, you will be mesmerized and surprised and shocked beyond repair. Yeah, how can things hide in plain sight like this? I remember an incident that took place. There are these two people, Jazib and what is his name, the other person? There was another, Shakir, yes. And they were discussing, I was listening to them, the idea of heaven in Quran. And I joined the conversation. I told them that what is the fundamental problem humans face in this world? And we shuffled between different problems. And I said, notice all of these problems can be grouped into two. Either it's something in the past that's haunting you, that you should have done but didn't, or you shouldn't have done but did, or it should have happened in a very different way but it didn't. Jaise, for example, uncle died, काश ऐसा ना हुआ होता. Or you flunked in an exam, काश मैंने पढ़ा होता. Or you did something bad, काश मैंने ये ना किया होता. Or you did something, you want to do it यू नाउ थिंक दैट यू शुड हैव डन इट बेटर, तो काश इसको और अच्छे से किया होता। तो माजी के पछतावे हैं बस, और क्या है। और काश कल ये हो जाता, काश ये नौकरी लग जाती, काश कोई अच्छा रिश्ता मिलता बेटी के लिए या बेटे के लिए, काश मेरी गाड़ी ये बार बार ऐसे धोखा न देती, काश रिस्क का कुछ मामला सेटल हो जाता, काश ये पेट का दर्द खत्म हो जाता, काश मेरी आईसाइट रिस्टोर हो जाती, काश मेरा बड़ा घर होता। और क्या है तो बस। तो या तो माजी के पछतावे हैं या तो मुस्तकबिल के अंदेशे हैं, और हम बेचारे इस मोमेंट में इन दोनों के बीच में पिसते रहते हैं। अल्लाह ताला कुरान में फरमाते हैं कि जन्नत के लोगों के बारे में, दे वुड हैव नथिंग टू ग्रीव एंड नथिंग टू डिस्पेयर, एंड दिस इज रिपीटेड सो ऑफन that it is surprising that you miss it. You miss it every time. And incidentally, Shakir is a Hafiz. If I'm not mistaken, he is. Jazib can correct, or Suhail would find out. At least he knows a lot of Quran, that I know. If he's not a Hafiz, he still knows. Uh, uh, okay, the famous Shakir, the one who is in our rooms these days, not this Shakir, it's another Shakir we are talking about. Knows a lot of Quran. And he was like, no, there is nothing like this in Quran. And I told him, okay, find this verse number. And he opened it. And he was like, oh my God, yes. और ये तो सही में कुछ आयत के बाद बार बार आता है, बार बार आता है. I said, exactly, sometimes you just miss it. And that's true with a lot of things. So one of the things, coming back to that, what I was telling you, I found in Quran, was at one place I was reading and I found it कि मैं तुम्हारे दिलों के शिकवे दूर करूँगा. God says, I'm going to remove this last semblance that you have in your heart. ये जो शिकवा तुम पेश करना चाहते हो, जो तुम्हारे दिल में है, कोई कोई तड़प, कुछ जो रह गया है, उसको I'll remove. It's in a way saying I'll heal you. What a beautiful thing to say. That you will be healed. And in there is your hope. Okay, we are all going to get healed in that. And I still remember I was very happy when I read it and I cried. My eyes are wet. I think about it that I would also be healed of all the diseased person. Maybe the last, but God is going to heal me as well, inshallah. We believe that we would be healed. So the point being, we have to be very courageous in our मामलात. मामलात को लात मारो और उठो, कमर कसो, शहर से पहले चल पड़ो, कड़ी है राह दोस्तों, बड़े चलो, उठा दिया कदम मगर तो ख़त्म है बस ये सफ़र. So things happen, they make us. There's a scar now. That scar defines you. ये आपके माथे पे है, ये आपके कंधे पे है, शोल्डर ब्लेड पे है, ये आपके सीने पे है, ये आपके बाजू पे है, आपके रिस्ट पे है, हाथ पे है. और ये दिखता है, ये दूर से दिखता है, ये बिल्कुल वैसा नहीं है आप जैसे पहले थे. पहले बिल्कुल स्मूथ स्किन थी, लेकिन अब ये स्कार है. बट ये स्कार्ड सुहेल ही अब असली सुहेल है. यही इस वक्त का सुहेल है. ये स्कार्ड अबरार, ये स्कार्ड अनलीव, ये स्कार्ड समन, यही अब असली फैज़ान है, असली आबिद है, असली जाकिर है, असली प्रज्वल है, असली राहुल है. यही है अब जो है. दिस इज़ व्हाट वी आर. And that's why we have to be courageous to stand up and deal with whatever life has thrown at us and not despair. कि आजा सितमगर हुनर आजमाए, तुम तीर आजमाओ हम जिगर आजमाए. लेट्स प्ले ऑन आवर स्ट्रेंथ्स, राइट? वो कहते हैं ना, सरफरोशी की तमन्ना अब हमारे दिल में है, देखना है जोर कितना बाजुए कातिल में है. Let's be those. And this the question we started from was whether gladly or resentfully तो मुझ में कहीं बागी है. ये कहानी आपके अंदर जिंदा रहेगी, चाहे आप चाहे न चाहे. You will always belong to that place where you are from. Some part of it would belong to you. Take it wherever you go. लेकिन 7वीं सेंचुरी अरेबिया में बात इससे भी आगे थी. ये महज आइडेंटिटी का पार्ट नहीं था. इट्स नॉट ए पार्ट यू कैरी विद. इट इज व्हाट डिटरमिन्ड इट. इट इज योर आइडेंटिटी. यू आर दैट. You are not a software engineer who is also from Kashmir. No, your first, last and only identity is your Kashmiri in 7th century. And in Arabia, it is, you are a Meccan. That's it. Geography, the place where you are born, and your identity. This is one and the same thing. They are foundations of one another in this society. तो मक्का से होना is not just being from Makkah. It is what you are made of. You are made of Makkah. That is what it means to say in that world कि so and so person is from Makkah. हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम के लिए भी ऐसा ही होगा. For him, it was to be bound to both the place and the people whose place it was, the Quraysh. ये इतना intertwined है आपकी आइडेंटिटी के साथ that it is kind of a muscle memory that you don't even work on. It just happens to you. और कुरान ने भी इसको जिंदा रखा था. कुरान did not kill this feeling. जब भी the Quranic voice would speak, it was telling him to speak to his people. And the warning that there was, वो भी specifically address उन्हीं को करती थी. The mushrikeen of Makkah, or your people at times. Tell them, Nas people. And was it not often repeated that he was asked to tell them that he's one of them? He's like you. He's like any other Meccan. And he did exactly that. And then in the middle of it, like I was telling you, it's very difficult when you give someone your heart. It's very difficult to think of a life without that person. It's very difficult. Now think about it. You have intertwined your identity and your destiny. And all of a sudden, there is no one. It seems like a dream. वो सपना जैसा लगता है कि ऐसे धोखा हुआ है कि वो दूसरा शख्स नहीं है. उस डेस्टिनी का क्या होगा, उस आइडेंटिटी का क्या होगा, मेरा क्या होगा. You are looking at an uncertain future in every sense of the term. It was all at place, and now the person is gone. It must be dreadful, and then dreadful it is. So, what would you do in such a situation? Of course, you're going to have, I would say, shocks. Anxiety doesn't do justice to it. You should be in a shock. It's something unthinkable. Think about it. We enter your mind somehow. We click Control A, select all, and we press delete. What big a tragedy is that? That's horrendous. And that's exactly what happens at a heartbreak. That's exactly what happens at a separation. My uncle died some time back, and when I remember it बहुत बुरा लगता है कि I cannot communicate with him anymore. And everything that could have been is no more. It's very tough. It's very, very tough. And that's exactly losing something, losing a part of you that you had built, your beloved, your favorite pen maybe, gone, finished. It's no more there. So, for the Prophet ﷺ, that's exactly the prospect right now. To stop being a Meccan is unthinkable, plain and simple. It cannot be. It just cannot be. This is where I belong. This is where I rise, where I sleep. This is where I fight. I get it. But this is me. This defines me as well. So this would have been unthinkable. Like for anyone else, for him as well. And he is not in his 20s when things like these are easy. Easier, I would say, comparatively. Not really easy. Never really easy. He's not in his 30s. We say in Kashmiri, Trz. The 30s like lions. So 30s, he's not in 30s. He's not even in 40s. And then they say in Kashmiri about 40s that's where you settle. 40, but you have to be settled. So that you live a retired life, a good retired life, aram se. 50s may you see your grandchildren grow and you look after them. You pass on your wisdom to 2 generations. There's a good overlap. But all of that is being put to question. It's not going to be. It's very hostile. You cannot live here. It's inconceivable, but it must be. You have to leave. What you call home. What's a home? Home is refuge from storm outside. That's home. बाहर तूफान है, उससे भागने का एक आपके पास एक छावनी है. It's a cantonment. Your home. Its walls are your fortress. That's home. It protects you. You build it the way you want. It gives you comfort. It's Qurratul Ain. It gives calmness and coolness to your eyes. That's home. And that's a very beautiful thing. That's an amazing thing. And compare that to what is Islam. Islam is home. How is Islam home? The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Islam has 5 pillars. And then he taught us those 5 pillars. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He told us that it has these 5 pillars: the Shahada, the Namaz, Roza, Zakat, Hajj. And the Arabs at once understood what he was saying. They understood that he was talking about a tent. He was talking about a tent, a proper tent in which the caravans they lived. And he is saying that the way a tent has 5 pillars, the one central pillar, Shahada in this case, and then the 4 in 4 corners, the Namaz, the Roza, the Zakat, the Hajj, that this is what makes your home. And this is what protects you from the winds outside. This is what protects. This is where you have your most intimate moments. This is what protects you from wild animals. This is what protects. This is where you sleep for peace and calmness. This is where your home is. Islam is your home. And that's what Isra would also have taught the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The night of Mi'raj would also have taught him that this home is no more. Never mind how unthinkable this is, but your home now is Islam. You must leave this place, and he needed to leave. And every immigrant knows that leaving home is not simply a matter of geography. You just don't leave. And more so, it never leaves you. चाहे फिर आप गांव से शहर आए हों, एक शहर से दूसरे शहर जाएं आप, एक मुल्क से दूसरे मुल्क, या फिर एक कंटिनेंट से दूसरे कंटिनेंट, ये एक बहुत ही दिल दहला देने वाला एक्सपीरियंस होता है। ये एक पौधा जो लगा हुआ है 30 साल से 40 साल से, उसको अपरूट करना है। इट्स अपरूटिंग योर सेल्फ। And more so when you're aged, the tree, the roots are farther down. बहुत बड़े मजबूत होते हैं वो। And think of such a tree uprooting itself, खुद को खुद से uproot कर रहा है. Look at all the violence taking place in the roots, and which in this case is the heart of human. Look at all the violence, self-inflicted violence that is going to take place at that moment when the tree decides to uproot itself. Listen to that noise that would come from the roots when the tree is shaking and trying to get its roots out of that soil. Think of all of those parts that are going to break and remain within the soil. That's heart-wrenching, that's very sad and very difficult. Tearing your roots, leaving yourself vulnerable. What is a tree without its roots? It's gone, it's finished, khatam. You abandon what is known and you open yourself to the mercy of the new world. You don't know what's going to happen, or would it even be a world? You don't know. Nothing is certain anymore. यहाँ पे पता है कि कितने बर्ड्स आते हैं, यहाँ पे पता है कौन शाम को यहाँ पे टेक लगाता है, यहाँ पे सब कुछ मालूम है, कब बारिश होती है, कब धूप आती है, कब विंटर होता है, कब समर होता है. You don't know about the new place. You don't know whether you would be accepted. You don't know whether you would be rejected. You don't even know what it means to be accepted in a new place. And what is acceptance? Is it rejection of the past? These are difficult things. And what if the place you move to does not accept you? You always remain an outsider. फिर आप कहाँ जाएंगे? There is this beautiful story. आप लोग YouTube पे जाके उसको सुने. It is satire, funny भी है, but there are good lessons in it. The story of the crow who fell in love with a pigeon. And then what happens to him in the end? Uprooted from his roots. Very difficult. Are you going to go back to the place that has already rejected you, if you are rejected in the first place? These questions are overwhelming for anyone, for everyone. All of these are staring at Huzur Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is an orphan who had struggled in the very beginning of his life for any kind of acceptance in this society which cared about lineage. The Prophet had none, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was born an orphan. He had struggled and treaded a very careful path and reached a very respectable position as a merchant. He had fought the hard way. He had chosen the road less traveled. But everything that he had worked for, everything he had struggled for, all has been put to question. A violent question this time. And there is an existential challenge which hits at the core of his identity. And the key to understanding the solution to the challenge was Isra once again. The night of ascension, Mi'raj. That was the affirmation के आप इस पूरी दुनिया में, your refuge is the spiritual home. And then that spiritual home is beyond this physical home, and then that's where you would find refuge. And it is indeed true, and we find it in Quran. God says it's only in the remembrance of God that hearts find peace, that their homes have to be places of remembrance of God. Remembrance of God is conflated with people sitting on Jainamas and saying Allah, Allah. That is remembering God, because the other extreme would deny that altogether.
that is remembering God, and that's active remembering of God. But we must be remembering God in our passive aspects as well. You cannot leave your God on Jainamaz. That's not how God or this deen works. It has to be taken everywhere, every moment that you live. So this metaphysical experience that the Prophet had, that's the only thing you could have felt home with. That home in Jerusalem where he led the prayer, where all of his brethren were there, where he was escorted by angels. That's where his home was. That's what would have been shown to him. It must have also reoriented him to face this dreading challenge of Hijrat. He was forced to think the unthinkable. You must leave. His message had the potential all along to radically expand the sense of home. इस्लाम में कुलिया का कंसेप्ट है, यूनिवर्सल ब्रदरहुड का कंसेप्ट है. तो मैसेज सेंट्रली तो यही कह रही थी अल मुस्लिम अखुल मुस्लिम, दैट द बिलीवर इज a believer's brother, so it's home everywhere. Yet he must now attest to it as well. It was just said before. Now it is to be done as well. And that too is difficult. Saying it is difficult, doing it is much more difficult. Where Mecca had been the center of his life, would it now be only just a point of departure? Or could it be beginning of a new life? Or even beginning of a new world? And not just for him, maybe for the entire world. But the question is, where would he go? That we shall see in next session, inshallah.